A lot of you have reached out to me and asked me this question: how do we write a book? Now, I have written 3 books in my life, and my fourth one is under publication. And in this video, I'm going to give you 5 steps you should follow to go about writing your first book. Before we start, do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon. Now, the first step and an important step is to choose the right topic. What sort of topics should you choose and what sort of topics you shouldn't? The principle is choose a topic which you are an expert in or you are familiar with. So if you are writing a non-fiction book, say you are into analytics, you should write a book on analytics. If you're into marketing, you should write a book on marketing. If you are in the world of consulting, write a book on consulting. Why is that? It's very simple, because if you write on a topic which you're familiar with, which you work on every day, you will seem authentic, you will come across as insightful, there'll be a lot of nuance that you will add to the conversation. Now, what happens when you're writing a fiction book? Now, if you are writing a fiction book, choose a genre or choose a topic which you are familiar with. So if you have seen a lot of crime movies, if you have a lot of interest in crime or thriller oriented web series, then you should probably venture out and write a crime or a thriller centric first book. If you have a lot of very interesting personal experiences, you've gone through some very interesting college experiences, B school experiences, then you should probably write on those, because you will come across as insightful. So pick a topic or pick a genre which you are a sort of expert in, so that when you talk about it, you come across as authentic and genuine. Step number 2 is to create a skeleton of your book. So how do you create a skeleton of your book? It's very, very simple. Open Microsoft Excel, choose 10 tabs. One tab is for each chapter, and for each chapter, identify 8 to 10 bullet points. Now, what can these bullet points be? These bullet points can be insights you want to talk about. These bullet points can be conversations between characters you want to talk about. These bullet points can be incidents you want to bring about in the book. So 10 chapters and about 8 to 10 bullet points per chapter. So that is the first draft of your skeleton. That's about 80 bullet points is the first draft of your skeleton. Now, once you have the first draft in Excel, you try and see which chapters you can increase, which chapters you can decrease. Do you need more chapters? Do you need less chapters? Do you need more bullet points? Do you need less bullet points? This is also the phase when you actually do the research. If you're trying to bring about an insight, or if it's a fiction book and if you're trying to describe a place, you actually do the research for that insight or the place, and you bring that in as part of the skeleton. The golden rule I would suggest is it should take you about 2 to 3 months to build a good skeleton for your book, and do share it with about 3 to 4 friends to get a sense of feedback in terms of how your book is headed from a skeleton perspective. Now, step 3 is probably the toughest step in this process, which is to actually write the book. Now, there is no fixed formula in terms of how you can do it, but I'll share with you how I typically go about writing the book. So I write for 2 hours every Sunday without fail. I have a fixed time, I have a fixed place, I even have a fixed system on which I write on. So I write about 600 to 800 words, and I write on 1 or 2 bullets that we identified in the skeleton of the book. Now, I think this is the best way to write it, because writing honestly is not about art, but it's about discipline in terms of how you do it. Now, if you are a first time writer and if you follow this process, you should have your first draft or your first manuscript ready in about 18 to 24 months. Now, a piece of warning here, what I suggest is you write the optimal amount. So what happens is sometimes certain aspiring writers write 10 pages on a Sunday, but they don't write the next 2 Sundays. And I think it's counterproductive. So I strongly recommend you write 2 to 3 pages every Sunday, but write every Sunday. Don't skip even one Sunday. Step number 4. Now you have your skeleton, you have your manuscript. It's also important to get a sense of feedback along the way, especially if you're a first time writer. So I suggest you have a group of 4 to 5 friends or 4 to 5 cousins whom you keep sending these intermediate pieces and you incorporate their feedback. Now, I should also tell you, you do not need to incorporate all their feedback. Incorporate the feedback only which you think is absolutely essential and is correct in your view of things. Step number 5, and possibly the most important step, is to have the right mindset. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, once you finish the first manuscript, say in about 18 minutes, most likely you will look at it and you will think it's a complete piece of trash. And you will end up rewriting that whole manuscript over the next 3 to 4 months. This is very common. It happens to every aspiring writer. Now, you should not be afraid of this process, and you should look forward to rewriting your own manuscript. So, in terms of my assessment, for a first time writer, you will have a complete manuscript ready in about 24 months. After that, you go forward towards publishing of the book, which I will not take care of in this video. I'll probably make another video after that. So these are the 5 points you should follow when you think of writing a book. Now, some of you may ask me, this is a lot of effort, this is a lot of harrowing, is it actually worth it? And the answer is a resounding yes. Because when that first copy of that book is in your hand, no amount of money, no amount of fame can ever translate to what the joy that one copy of your book will bring into your hand. It's as if a piece of your soul is in your hand when you talk about that book. So it is absolutely worth it, and I strongly recommend each of you should strongly consider writing the book. So with this, we come to the end of this video. If you like this video, do subscribe to the channel and do click on the bell icon. Till next time, take care.